Congratulations, you have survived the crawling season, the hardest part of these seasons of transformation. The season is over, and now you've sauntered right on into the cocoon, the place of warmth and refuge and respite and safety. Ah. But it's not just a cushy, chill place to hang out, the cocoon, because absence of pain doesn't equal freedom. Flying equals freedom. The cocoon is more of a time of isolation, of quiet, and of testing, waiting for the fulfillment of the promise to come. The Israelites experienced a cocoon. They had crawled for 400 years as slaves to the Egyptians, but now they had entered peace of the wilderness. They weren't flying yet. They had not reached the promised land, but the tragic pain was over. The extreme hardship was done. And while it felt good at first, I think the Israelites would tell us that it really kind of ended up feeling like crawling 2.0 in some respects when they were in the desert. They grumbled and complained that they couldn't see the promised land. Where's the manna, Lord? Where's the beef? I'm hungry. I'm tired. Are we there yet? But God was not done with their transformation. He still had some polishing and perfecting to do in them as a people. The cocoon is a season where our desires, our character, our integrity are all being tested in deeper and more profound ways. Just like the caterpillar liquefies in a cocoon before morphing into a butterfly, we are tested and purified like gold, all of the ugly rising to the surface so God can skim it off. It's a season where we have to answer the question, are we willing to let the caterpillar die so that the butterfly can live? While God helps us shed our sinful selves when we crawl, it's in the cocoon that he polishes us up. And most amazingly, it's in the cocoon where the actual transformation takes place. That's where we get our wings. It's the most majestic, awe-inspiring part of the whole entire process. Did you know that such growth happens in the cocoon? That if you were to surgically go in and remove one wing, the other three would just grow bigger, that it would still be able to fly? The cocoon makes us strong enough to fly, even if we've lost part of ourselves in the process. And as God's children, we go through metamorphosis, always, from old into new, from dead into life. The fact that we change so completely is almost more amazing than flying itself. But there are challenges to this cocoon. We can get here stuck so easily if we really let ourselves. Sometimes we're too comfortable in the cocoon that we're afraid of the sky. Sometimes we're so comfortable with the ground that we're afraid to fly and to use these new wings that were born out of our process. I'm sure you know this, but the cocoon does not open on its own, like a flower just blooms. In the cocoon, the caterpillar grows these new talons and teeth and claws that it has to use by itself to get out of the cocoon. It has to figure out how to use these new things to get out of something that it didn't even really recognize was there. And we have to do the same thing. And for some of us, that means saying no to things that we've only said yes to. And for some of us, that'll mean saying yes to things we've only said no to. Regardless of what it looks like, 100% of the time, it's going to mean accepting and implementing change we would otherwise be resistant to. In other words, you're going to have to do what God told the people in Deuteronomy to do. In 2:24, he said, get up, get going, and move on through the valley to get to the promised land. They had to be strong and have courage to take over the new cities that were promised to them. Every single time the promised land was never just handed over. God would lay it out and say, here it is, now go get it. They had to break through their fear and break through the clouds and get through their cushy and comfortable places to embrace the brand new thing that God had waiting for them. And we have to get up, get going, and move on too. The cocoon is not designed to be a place of forever refuge. It's designed for the divine purpose of bringing about complete transformation in your life. And once you do that, then you get to fly.